Hi, Tom.
How you doing?
So why don't you just introduce yourself and let us know what kind of issues that brought you to our office?
Okay, my name is Tommy. I'm 27 years old, and I've had ulcerative colitis since I was 19. That's when I was first diagnosed. Basically that's inflammation of the colon, bowel problems, all that good stuff.
So how is it impacting your life?
At first, just started going to the bathroom a lot. Some nausea, pain, and I didn't really know what was going on. I went to the doctor, and then he said, I went to my family doctor, and he kind of had an idea, and he said, well, you got to see a specialist. So I went to a specialist. Specialist said, yeah, I think you might have ulcerative colitis. The only way to confirm that was you got to get a colonoscopy. And at that time, being 19, I thought, well, only my grandparents get those. So, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. It sounds a little bit more serious, but whatever, Got a colonoscopy, and that kind of confirmed it. And, the doctor said, well, this is what you have. I said, okay, so, what do? I take some medicine, I'll be better in a month, right? And he said, no, I'm going to prescribe you some pills, and you're going to have to take them for the rest of your life. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I'm 19 years old. I never really had to take pills for anything my whole life. So, what is all this?
Right.
And basically, that's all the information I got out of him. Was you have this, take these pills, I'll see you later. And that didn't really sit well with me. I didn't really like that because, that's all the information I had. And I basically had to educate myself on my own about what's wrong with me, what other treatment options there are, things like that. So started taking the medicine, and didn't get better. In fact, it got worse. Worse and worse and worse. Because part of the advice that I received was that take the pills, and you can basically live your life the exact same as you're living right now. All you have to do is just take pills. And, that sounds great. A lot of people...
Sounds easy.
Yeah, that sounds easy. Cool. I'm going to do that. Well, got worse. Pills didn't even seem to work. Nothing seemed to work. So my family and I talked about it. We started looking for alternative treatments. Talked to a lot of people that we found had this similar disease, which is, a lot more people have bowel problems than you think about. They just don't talk about it just because of the nature of the symptoms and everything that goes on about it.
Right.
But I figured, you know what? I don't care. I'm sick. Why, I'm going to find out about it. Why hide it? I want to get better. That was my ultimate goal. Like, I don't want this.
Right.
I don't want to live my life feeling sick, going to the bathroom all the time.
How many times a day?
The worst, probably when I was at the sickest, I'd say around 40.
Wow.
40 to 50 times. There was times where I'd get up in the morning, and I'd leave my house for work at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'd get up about 5:30. Immediately have to go to the bathroom, which usually that's kind of normal. But then 5 minutes later, I have to go to the bathroom again. Like, oh, that right there kind of cuts into my time of getting ready. So a lot of times before I'd leave the house. Be about up to about 5 times.
Wow.
I'd have to go to the bathroom. That's like, this is not normal. Try to get to work as fast as possible. I worked about 10 miles away, and when rush hour traffic in the morning seemed like 100 miles sometimes. Get to work, start for maybe 10 minutes or so. Have to go to the bathroom.
So your whole day is interrupted with...
Exactly.
Hard to keep your train of thought going, right. All that kind of stuff.
And some days I would leave work, just because I was going to the bathroom too much. And, and there was a few instances where I got there and have to turn around and go home.
Wow.
It's like I'm too sick to do anything, So that went on for a few months. And after talking with my parents, like, we got to find, different kind of treatments. So we looked kind of the more natural way of things, vitamins, supplements, changing diet, things like that, because it never really stuck with me that I could just keep eating everything I was eating and it not affect me, because this is my colon, this is my stomach, this is everything that processes my food, everything that goes in my body.
Right.
So it's like, how can what I'm eating not affect that at all? Like, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. But that was basically what I was told by all my traditional medicine doctors. So, and my diet pretty much consisted of pizza, Taco Bell, and McDonald's. Those were like my 3 favorite foods.
Yay.
Yeah, and that's what I ate almost every day. Spaghetti, meat sauce, pastas, everything. Pretty much things that didn't have the most nutritional value at all,
right,
if any. Drank pop all day. I'd have water when I took my pill. That was about it.
Yeah.
So, found a homeopathic doctor that treated cases like this. He was out in Farmington. Went and saw him, and he said, "Hey, you got to stop fast food. It's got to end right away. You got to eat vegetables, fruits, meats, healthy stuff, and that's it. You got to change your diet. You got to take, these supplements, things like this to get the nutrients back in your body. You got to drink water, no more pop, nothing." And I'm like, well, okay, this kind of sucks. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it because nothing else worked. So what do I have to lose? I'm already sick, and obviously this stuff isn't going to make me any more sick. I didn't have anywhere to go but up,
right,
basically. So started doing that and saw a change. Started exercising. That was another thing. I never exercised, things like that. I was overweight. as you can imagine, just with my diet, my lifestyle, I'd go to work, come home, play video games, sit around. I didn't do anything. Let's be honest. So started down that path, and things started to change. Started feeling better. Started losing weight. Started feeling pretty good, and it's like, okay, there's definitely something to this. Got more into it. Got more information. Talked to a lot of people that have went this way and started feeling better. Things like that. I'm like, all right, this is great. Feeling good. So after a couple years of that, my symptoms had subsided a lot. Still they were still there. It wasn't quite totally fine or things like that. I couldn't really be comfortable with the fact that I'll be totally better, and I can go back to my old ways or whatever. But I ended up getting comfortable with everything. So with that came, oh, you know what, I can eat this and I'll be okay. I'll just have it once a month or whatever. I kind of loosened the strings on things. And so that became, well, I can have some pop, I can have some beer here, and I'll be okay. I'll make it up the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll make it up the next week. Or I'll exercise a little bit better, or I'll take double the dose of my vitamins or whatever. And surprise, surprise, that doesn't really happen. That doesn't help. That doesn't.
So you
can't do it.
You had a little bit of relapse.
So I got comfortable, had a little bit of a relapse, and thought, well, that was kind of stupid. All the hard work I did put into it just kind of wiped out. And as I was getting older, this is probably about 22, I'd say, so about 3 years, just started finding out that it takes longer and longer to recover, and that kind of wasn't fun.
No.
And so that kind of went on. I went back and forth with that approach for a few years, so probably till I was about 24, things like that. I kept at it, but I always kind of let things slip. I never went fully like 100%, and ended up in the hospital with a really bad flare-up, inflammation in like my entire colon. I thought I was going to die. Couldn't eat. Couldn't do anything. At that point, I was going to the bathroom a ton of times. Then when I got sick, I had so much inflammation that my colon was almost like just choking itself. I couldn't go to the bathroom.
Oh.
And because I couldn't go to the bathroom, that's how I knew I had such a severe problem, because I was so used to everything else and being sick. All of a sudden, you know, I can't do anything that came with my sickness in some weird way, that it's like, something's seriously wrong. So ended up in the hospital, was in there for a few days, had me on IVs, things like that, and some powerful anti-inflammatories, and you know, symptoms subsided, got released, you know, stayed on the anti-inflammatories for a couple months. All the side effects that went along with that, you know, just terrible. You know, I got all puffy, gained weight. I'd be up all night, things like that.
So it was like a prednisone type.
It was prednisone, yep.
Yeah,
and just made me feel like out of my head. I felt like a different person, just totally crazy. But on the other hand, you know, you didn't have any colitis symptoms. You know,
right. So like,
you felt fine.
Do I feel like crazy, or do I go to the bathroom all the time?
Right. So that was like
great choices.
Yeah, you know, it's be sick in the mind and everything else, and not sick in your problem, or you know, go back to it. So, you know, was on those for a few months, and got off those, and sure enough, everything just came right back. You know, and I was still like, you know, not 100% into it, and from 25 to, you know, about a year ago, I was kind of in between things, you know, like, okay, maybe this is my life, you know. I'd be out with my friends and feel sick, you know, everybody's out, you know, we're all having fun. I'm a young guy, you know, so we'd go out, you know, to bars and restaurants and things like that, and I wouldn't eat, you know, certain things because I already knew it bothered me, and I just couldn't partake in all the group stuff. I used to go to concerts all the time. I mean, almost every night of the week I'd be doing something, and then that kind of changed to being home, sitting there, you know, had my friends over, we'd play video games, you know, and in between all that stuff, I'd have to get up and go to the bathroom, you know, twice in an hour, you know, in the span of 3 hours, probably 4 or 5 times, and that was like, you know, this just sucks, you know, this is not the way to live.
Right.
Like, you know, my whole day, I can't go 5 hours without going to the bathroom, you know, more than 3 times. It still affected my work. I had changed jobs by that time, so I was doing something else, and, you know, still get sick in the morning, things like that. You know, I have to go to the bathroom a ton of times, interrupt my work, you know, things like that, and I was just getting tired of it. I was getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, basically, I mean, this is, you know, I'm 25. This is not, I'm supposed to be out doing things, being active, building my life instead of keeping it at the same level. So, started, you know, basically got fed up with that. I kept talking with my parents about, you know, different things. You know, we felt like we've tried, you know, everything we could, in a way, in a sense that we knew about. And my mom was talking to some family friends who had come to Dr. Johnson, and they said, you know, they had really good results with their daughter, and why not just try it? And my mom had ran into Dr. Johnson, I believe,
twice.
At Chipotle, and he said, "Yeah, I can help him. You know, I can help." You know, she kind of mentioned, you know, what was wrong with me. So she came running home one day and told me, and I said, "Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I mean, I have nothing else to lose. You know, I can only get better. That's it." And, you know, and by that time, you know, it's like 25 years old, 26, however old I was, and I'm, you know, this is the rest of my life. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting sicker, and by this point, you know, up until I think I first came to you in May, I believe, or April, for something, and I was in a bad spot. I was getting really sick. I could tell, like, it was not going well. I mean, I was going to the bathroom a ton. It was not quality, I'd say. I mean, I was headed back to the hospital. I knew,
right.
If I didn't do something different, I was headed back to the hospital. Because a few months before that, I went to the doctor, and I got some prednisone, which usually